Hi everybody, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to pass any kind of leadership or management interview. So if you've got one coming up, please stick around, watch it from beginning to end, because I promise you the questions and unique answers are going to really help you to pass. Okay, welcome to this tutorial. That's me there on the right hand side. My name is Richard McMunn. I'm very passionate about helping people to pass their interviews. I've been doing it over 20 years now, and in this video I'm going to focus specifically on a leadership and a management type interview. I'm going to give you sample questions to prepare for, and more importantly, I'm going to give you a load of unique answers as well. As normal, please make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video. That way you are not going to miss out on any of the weekly videos that I'm uploading. And if you do enjoy this video and the sample answers, I would very much appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. Okay, let's get straight into it. Question number 1 of a leadership and management interview. Tell me about yourself and why you are suited to this leadership or management role. So it's a pretty much guaranteed question, the first one that you are likely to get asked in any kind of leadership or management interview. Now, 2 tips for helping you to answer this successfully. Tip number 1, my advice when responding to this question is to focus on these competencies. The competencies of being able to inspire and motivate your team, being able to work under pressure to achieve the company goals, also being able to solve difficult problems by working on your own initiative, and also making sure you make the right decisions at the right time. And I'm going to give you an answer in a second which encompasses all of those competencies. Now, tip number 2, tell the panel that you will work hard to meet the organisational objectives. You will also be loyal and trustworthy, and you will act as a positive role model and representative for their company. And I'm pretty much sure if you say all of those things combined, you will answer this with the top marks, the highest marks possible. So here is my suggested answer for you. Tell me about yourself and why you're suited to this particular leadership and or management role. Here we go. I am a hardworking, determined, loyal and competent leader and manager, and I have the appropriate level of experience and expertise to not only inspire and motivate the team, but also ensure they work tirelessly towards achieving the company objectives. Now, I've studied your organisation in detail, and you are clearly an innovative and forward-thinking company who has ambitious plans for the future. Now, based on my own personal career goals and my enthusiasm for this type of role, I feel we will be able to work collaboratively together effectively to meet your targets and your future plans. Now, that's a real solid answer. Now, of course, you can either take notes and write down those answers, or I will tell you at some stage during this video where you can get access to these and download them. So that's the first question of a leadership and or management interview. Let's take a look at question number 2. Tell me about a time when you made a quick decision with limited information. So as a leader and a manager, you often have to make quick decisions with minimal information. And this is an acquired skill, but there's a couple of things that you have to do in these type of situations to make sure that you make the right one. So 2 tips before I give you a brilliant answer to this question. Tip number 1, quick decisions have to be made as a leader and a manager. However, it is essential that you balance the risks versus the benefits for each decision that you make. Number 2, my advice is to describe a situation you were in where you had to make a quick decision based on the best interests of the organisation, and that you, and this is the important bit, you weighed up the pros and cons before you made that decision. So here is a suggested answer that can be used in any kind of leadership and management interview. Here we go. Tell me about a time when you made a quick decision with limited information. In a previous role, I was often required to make quick decisions without much information to hand. One particular situation involved a client requesting important changes to a project we were working on, and they needed an answer within the hour. Now, normally, I would take the time to calculate a cost-based exercise to determine the impact on our budget and the profitability whenever a client requested additions or changes. However, this was not possible due to time. So I weighed up the risks of losing the client for future projects as they had already spent a considerable amount of money with us over the years. On that basis, I agreed to the changes, but I reiterated to them there would not be any further changes after that. I only ever make quick decisions if the risk of not doing so is at the detriment of the organisation I'm working for. I will always balance risks versus the benefits in any situation like this that I am presented with. So you are given an explanation there where you made a decision with limited time, a quick decision, but you'd weighed up the options quickly. But you're also saying there that you will always put the organisation first, and that is the important thing when responding to that kind of question. Let's take a look at another one of the leadership and management interview. Tell me about a time when you handled a crisis or a really difficult situation. Now, this is a common leadership and management interview question because what they are looking for here is for you to take responsibility for this situation, because you're a leader and a manager and you can't go running off to your senior managers or your directors to say, what should I do here? You have to make important decisions. So, 2 tips to help you answer correctly. Demonstrate your ability to remain calm and utilize innovative thinking to come up with a solution to the problem or the crisis you are faced with. Now, every problem can be solved. Every problem can be solved. And it's your job to show that you are resilient, you have a determined attitude and an ability to strive towards completing the task or project efficiently and effectively. So, how do you do that when answering this interview question? Here's a sample for you. Tell me about a time when you handled a crisis. Here we go. During a particular team project, we were literally 7 days away from the project deadline and everything was going smoothly and as planned. Unfortunately, 2 important members of the team had to go off without notice. One was due to sickness and the second was due to compassionate reasons. The project was literally thrown into turmoil, and it initially looked like the project would not get delivered, having disastrous consequences for our client. However, I decided to step up to the plate and search for ways we could get the project over the finishing line. I started scouting for talent from other departments, and after a day of intense searching, we managed to hire 2 people to help us complete the project. Then we all worked around the clock due to the time already lost, and we pulled together, we dug deep, and we focused on the project outcomes. At the end of the deadline, the project was completed and, more importantly, to the required standards and specification. I believe I am at my best when under pressure, and I can always be relied upon to be resilient, innovative, and determined. So you're showing there, you're given a situation that you were in when you had to handle the crisis, but you were saying, I'm the one who stepped up and I came up with a solution, an innovative solution. And you're also saying, and this is the important bit, I said there, I believe I am at my best when under pressure. So I'm telling the panel, I can work in this kind of situation, no problem at all. Next question. What do you dislike the most about leadership and management? Okay, a real tricky question, because you can't say, well, you know what, there's absolutely nothing I dislike. I love every bit of it. And I would say you're not being honest, because there are some things here with leadership and management. And I did it for many, many years. I run my own business, but I was a leader and a manager in the fire service for many years. A highly stressful job, very difficult at times. And there were some aspects that I didn't like. But there is a trick to answering this question. So 2 tips before I give you a great answer. Number 1. Don't give something here that you have control over. So don't say, I don't like people within a team who underperform, or I don't like it when my director or senior manager gives me unrealistic targets to meet or expectations. Make sure you give something, you don't give something that you have control over. Number 2, tell the interview panel one thing you dislike, but then say you have developed skills to overcome that particular dislike over the years. So here's a great answer that I think it can be used in any kind of interview. What do you dislike the most about leadership and management? Here we go. There isn't much about management and leadership I dislike. However, if I had to choose one thing, it would be when the completion of your task or project is dependent on external stakeholders whose appetite for completion isn't in sync with your own. Having said that, I feel over the years I've developed strong interpersonal skills and persuasion techniques to get external stakeholders and organisations to help me achieve my own managerial aims and objectives. I think that's a brilliant answer, because you're saying there isn't much I dislike about it, but there is one thing, and that's when external stakeholders who you don't have much control over, when their appetite for ambition isn't the same as your own. But then you're saying, but I believe I've developed strong interpersonal skills and persuasion techniques to get them to help me. Okay, really, really solid answer. Next question. If you are successful at interview today, what's the first thing you will do as our newly appointed manager or leader? So if you're successful, what's the first thing you're going to do? Quite a difficult question, but I'm going to give you a really, really strong answer. Number one, make sure you have a plan for what you're going to do. So be prepared already. Don't say, well, I'll get into the role and I'll sort of find my feet. You need to hit the ground running. Number two, base your plan, what you plan to do, on three things. These three things are really good. Number one, obtaining a clear brief from your senior managers and directors. Number two, carrying out team appraisals. And then number three, motivating and inspiring your team towards the goals. Okay, those are the three things I recommend you say in your plan. So you're going to say, I've already got a plan of what I'm going to do if I'm successful, and these are the three things. So here's my answer for you. If you're successful at interview today, what's the first thing you will do as our newly appointed manager or leader? Here we go. If I'm successful and I get to become your manager or leader, I plan to do three things within the first few weeks of arriving. First and foremost, I will obtain a clear brief from you, my senior managers and the company directors, to understand exactly how I can help the company strategically meet its goals and its targets. Secondly, I will get to know my team inside out. I plan to carry out in-depth appraisals with each team member to find out how they currently contribute to the team and the wider organisational objectives within their role. Finally, after completing the first two stages of my three-stage plan, I will brief the team fully on my expectations in respect to performance and also reiterate the goals and targets we will all be working towards. It will then be my job to manage, lead, and motivate the team. That's a really good answer. A really, really good answer. Okay, now, I hope you've enjoyed those. I love creating the questions and the answers. If you would like more of these and you want to get a copy of those, please click the link below the video or go to the website passmyinterview.com. So I own this website here, passmyinterview.com. You can get free access to my online training courses, over 550 top reviews on Trustpilot. Honestly, we're literally helping people every day to pass their interviews. So you'll get over 50 training modules on this course. You'll get me teaching you directly. It's me there who's teaching you exactly how to do it. And there's over 54 training modules and loads of interview questions and suggested answers. If you've got an interview coming up, I don't mind you telling me what it is in the comment section below the video. And that way I'll give you a few questions to prepare for, because obviously there's other ones for a leadership and a management interview. But any kind of interview whatsoever, my advice is get access to that free online course. You can get free access for 30 days. It's passmyinterview.com. I genuinely want you to pass your interview. I love teaching you, and thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. And I wish you all the very best. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck.